I wouldn't be surprised if Kristi Noem was watching Pam Bondi fall apart yesterday in front of Congress like the rest of us, with a smile. Although it wasn't funny to me, it was a disgusting display about everything broken in this country. I'm sure Kristi Noem was happy that some of the heat on her for being the worst member of Donald Trump's cabinet was shifting over to Pam Bondi, who you could also make the case for. But that reprieve, that moment without harassment, was short-lived for Kristi Noem, who was immediately booed in front of the public today. Kristi Noem, nobody likes you. Nobody likes you at all. Your stunts are stupid, your hats are bad, your photo ops fail, and that is what we saw today, and boy did it get under her skin. But much like Pam Bondi's failure yesterday, Kristi Noem's crisis started with some testimony before the Senate, but this time it wasn't Kristi, it was one of Donald Trump's ICE thugs who got called out by Ruben Gallego moments before Noem got booed for the very same reason he was scolded in this clip.
Director Lyons are trained in weapons handling, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you look at the Rene Good shooting, why is the agent holding a camera phone and a weapon at the same time?
So, sir, I don't want to comment on the ongoing investigation just because that's still being determined at this time. But could I just go back to one thing, sir, that you mentioned?
No. I want to ask further questions on this. Has there ever been an order to any agents, CBP agents in Minnesota or other place, for them to be recording on their personal phones to essentially be somewhat social influencers or to pass, the media on to up? Has there ever been any orders given for people to be holding or for agents to be recording while they're, doing these stops or engaging with the public?
Sir, there's never been an order to do that. Agents have used it as far as if they were going to make an arrest, say, on an agitator. The U.S. Attorney was requiring to have video leading up to the event, so officers have used that for that.
For video from a handheld, from a phone?
If they had a body camera available, from the body camera or from any type of recording device.
But the reason there's a difference is because the body cam is designed for a police officer or law enforcement to engage while still being able to have full scope of knowledge what's happening, be able to detain, be able to escalate if they need to escalate. What I saw and what the world saw for me is the fact that there was an agent that was moving around a vehicle with a camera phone recording and his hand on the weapon. In what world, in what training between all of your training in weapons handling, have you ever been taught what the appropriate use of you holding a weapon and at the same time recording on a camera phone? Did you have any of that type of training at all in your time in ICE, law enforcement, or through CBP?
No, sir, I haven't. But again, we look at every instance, no matter what it is. So
shouldn't there be some kind of command or directive that comes down from CBP headquarters, knowing that this is unprofessional conduct that probably created and put the officer and probably the civilian in a situation that ended up escalating to a shooting, that maybe you shouldn't be holding a camera out, trying to be influencer, and wielding a weapon at the same time? That is a professional code of conduct. As law enforcement, as military, you would never do that because you cannot handle a weapon, assess a situation, and be able to determine to escalate or de-escalate. Did you issue any type of direction after Ms. Good was shot saying that this is not what you should be doing, or we're just accepting that this is going to continue going forward?
No, sir, there was nothing issued because we do hold our individuals accountable.
This was one of the first thoughts that crossed my mind when watching every single example that we've seen, but specifically with Rene Good and Alex Preddy, watching those videos of those executions, is that if you have your phone out as an ICE officer, you are not an ICE officer. You are a coward. You are trying to cause chaos. You are not law enforcement, not to say that they were from the beginning, that these people are just thugs and goons and losers is what they are. They want to get in a spat. And these people should not be taken seriously. They should not be funded, and they should face accountability. And I think that is the growing consensus amongst all Americans, including Republicans, who are seemingly more and more fed up with Kristi Noem every day. And Kristi, thank God, has to hear it whenever she travels, because not only did she get booed and yelled at, and sirens blared during her press conference, but she had to play it off like she didn't care. And it starts with what she walked into her press conference hearing here.
Try to make sure that doesn't blow away. We got everybody? Okay, good.
In case you couldn't hear, journalist Aaron Rupar writes, sirens blare in the background as Kristi Noem tries to hold a news conference in Otay Mesa, California. Rupar continued to write, definitely sounds like protesters that are making the commotion behind Noem. Also note that they've set up the news conference so that you can't see anything behind her. They are actively trying to cover up, again, This time, it's how unpopular they are. Donald Trump covers up for pedos, he covers up for his crumbling economy, and he covers up when Kristi Noem gets booed. But it didn't stop there, because she had to just sit there and take it. But as the boos rained down, as the alarms interrupted her, she just couldn't take it anymore. She kind of lashed out. She pretended it wasn't getting under her skin. But we've seen Kristi Noem in enough bad commercials to know she's not a good actor.
Well, they're obviously expressing their First Amendment rights, and we welcome that. As long as they do so peacefully, I think it's a wonderful thing. Yes.
Again, journalist Aaron Rupar chimed in, mocking Noem. Please don't put in the newspaper that I got mad, joking that Kristi is trying to say, it's fine, I'm not angry. Who cares? It doesn't even matter. She's just so triggered. She's so easily upset. You know, they have their First Amendment right and it's okay and people can say what they want. You hate it, don't you? These people are so self-obsessed. They're so self-absorbed. It's all about them. Kristi Noem has made her job doing stunts for Donald Trump, playing dress up and hurting Americans for show, for the audience of one that she plays to, and still she has failed at that job. It is magnificent the ways that she has let down Donald Trump. And good. I'm glad that she's bad at her job. Unfortunately, her being bad at her job also gets Americans hurt, but it also, at this moment, still has her on the chopping block. Let's keep that in mind. Kristi's not in the full, clear, all good. I would say that even, the farther that we get removed from the murders in Minneapolis, the better chance Noem has to be fired. Because if Donald Trump does it too soon, it looks like he's being reactionary, which is the thing he dreads the most. But a little bit of time away, and maybe he could make a shift ahead of the midterms. And it would certainly make sense. This is a woman that has failed time after time in her job. And the latest example, it'll warm your heart. Rachel Maddow broke it down right here.
So the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, posted this on social media late last year, swears included. She posted, quote, I am recommending a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. We don't want them, not one. This was less than a month after the Trump administration had announced they were revoking the legal status of immigrants from Haiti to this country. That's more than 300,000 people from Haiti who live and work in this country legally, here under a legal designation called temporary protected status. The Trump administration announced they were going to revoke that legal status, and it was going to be effective at midnight Tuesday this week. And just think about the practical impact of that. This is a huge number of people. We're talking about more than 300,000 people who are here in this country legally. But at the stroke of midnight, they were suddenly and immediately going to become illegal. They were going to become, therefore, in the eyes of the Trump administration, in the eyes of ICE, they were going to become immediately eligible for arrest and imprisonment and deportation by ICE. The sudden ending of that temporary protected status for more than 300,000 people was challenged in the courts. And in a buzzer beater, a judge in the case just headed it off. Just one day before the deadline, the judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from doing what they wanted to do. People from Haiti who are here under TPS will be able to continue to live and work in this country while the case is being fully litigated. But I want you to know, the reason I think this is worth knowing about is because of the language of the ruling. In the ruling on this case, the judge just absolutely excoriates the Trump administration. This is from the ruling. Quote, President Trump has referred to Haiti as a bleep hole country, suggested Haitians probably have AIDS, and complained that Haitian immigration is, quote, like a death wish for our country. Quote, he has also promoted the false conspiracy theory that Haitian immigrants were eating the pets of the people of Springfield, Ohio. He stated, quote, why is it we only take people from bleep hole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few from Denmark. It is not a coincidence, the judge says, that Haiti's population is 95% black, while Norway's is over 90% white. The judge continues. Secretary Noem complains of strains unlawful immigrants place on our immigration enforcement system. Her answer, turned 352,959 lawful immigrants into unlawful immigrants overnight. She complains of strains to our economy. Her answer, turn employed lawful immigrants who contribute billions in taxes into the legally unemployable. I should tell you that the Trump administration was gleefully, reportedly planning to send ICE agents to Springfield, Ohio, as early as this Wednesday morning. More than 12,000 people who are immigrants from Haiti live in Springfield, Ohio. This is an immigrant population that, of course, Trump and J.D. Vance have targeted before. The administration was likely counting on the fact that there would be 12,000 people in that city who, would suddenly be newly deportable as of Wednesday morning when all these new ICE agents were going to show up. At least legally speaking, that will no longer be the case, thanks to this absolutely blistering ruling from a federal judge.
I say it a lot on the show that these people don't like their jobs. They're also just bad at their jobs. They're just not good at their jobs. We know that. That's not the point. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be, Fox hosts and cabinet positions, putting, more filler in their face to look like Donald Trump. Do you notice that they all try to look more like Donald Trump and sound more like Donald Trump? Scott Bessent, in his testimony, tried to be like Trump. Obviously, Pam Bondi did, screaming about the Dow and talking about Trump derangement syndrome. But these people aren't dealing with a press corps that quickly bends the knee and is afraid of them. They're dealing with members of Congress who will stand them down. And press, who in the case of Noem actually does really want to confront her, as we've seen a couple of times. So the humiliation will continue, and we are certainly going to cover it all on this show. And if you want to see more from that ICE hearing and another hearing about the attack on Minnesota, you can click right here to watch those clips that we are posting on Shift of Democrats calling out the disgusting ICE attacks across our country. You can also subscribe here, watch videos here. Of course, click down below. Please subscribe to Shift. We're building something big here. We need your help to shift our media, to shift our algorithms, and thus shift our politics. So your support really does go a long way. Keep on fighting, y'all. Keep booing Kristi Noem. And until next time, I'll see you soon.